911, what is the address of your emergency?
78. Help!
Aliens about 1 operator 6180. What's the address of your emergency? 1797 Sumter Street. We're being robbed at gunpoint.
No. They're following me to my house. The guns are already out. She's shooting. Okay.
Hello and welcome to Stop the Threat. My name is James Towle. On today's episode, we take you once again to the Hoosier state of Indiana for a reenactment we have called A Car to Die For. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, panel, for being here. Okay, on today's reenactment, it's pretty much a textbook robbery, sale of a car for cash. Pretty straight up and down situation. No matter how many times you hear when a deal's too good, you shouldn't, how's that go?
Too good to be true?
Too good to be true? Yeah, that expression, that's exactly right. We don't seem to want to pay attention to that because I think we would like to have the bragging rights of saying, boy, did I get a good deal. So you run out and you maybe do something that you will later regret based upon the fact that, wow, that was just a good deal. Yeah, well, if you're going to go out and make this good deal for cash, what would be some of the things you would want to have on your side? Maybe taking somebody with you?
Definitely have somebody else with you. Make sure you got that cash secured someplace. You're holding on to it. You want to see the vehicle and, you know, just common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Yeah, you know, I think the idea of maybe meeting, inspecting whatever it is that you're purchasing, and then when they ask for the money, say, well, I don't have the money right here, but I have it over there. So you end up getting in the vehicle and maybe having to go somewhere else. In other words, don't let him control the battleground, for a better choice of words. And this can happen in so many different ways. I mean, you're driving down the road and you see a car with a for sale sign in a lot. And you think, well, okay, well, I'm interested in that vehicle. I like that. You call him. He says, okay, I'll be right over. You look at the vehicle. You like the vehicle. He says, okay, meet me later with cash. Well, okay, I'm working. I can only meet you after 6 o'clock. So you were getting into those red flag areas. And I think a lot of us will overlook some of that because, again, we think it's a good deal and because whoever it is you're speaking to, you feel comfortable with. And, of course, it's their job to make you feel comfortable because, what? They're going to rob you later, right?
Well, they're trying to be convincing.
Right, and that's their job. So it's your job to be smarter than the bad guy.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but the people that get in the most trouble are the ones that are too trusting.
Yeah, right. And I think that's a fault of many of us, huh?
There's a series of steps you can go through in how you handle that encounter to make sure that there's enough of the terms that are on your side, whether it's when you meet or where you meet or exactly how that transaction is going to go down, that you can make sure they don't have the upper hand in that.
Okay. I like bringing reinforcements. I made a few notes. Bringing reinforcement, choosing the location of your choice for whatever is going to take place. I like the exchange of money to be somewhere else. And in fact, I think in a number of reenactments we've done in the past, someone sent me an email, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name right now, but she said, why not meet at the police station? Because the police station will be happy to let you take and do whatever deal you want to do, either inside if it's a small hand-to-hand thing, or even in the parking lot. And, you know, I guess that was so obvious I didn't think about it. But I'm sure law enforcement would probably go along with that. You just check with somebody at the desk, kind of let everybody know what you're doing. But I'm pretty certain that law enforcement would probably agree with that, right? It shouldn't be, and that would probably be the safest place I can think of. When we come back, I'm going to show you part 1 of Car to Die For. Don't go away. Thanks for coming back, viewers. You kind of have an idea of what we're going to see, so let's stop guessing at it and watch part 1, Car to Die For.
Good. We're here early. And when they get here, I want you to hang back by the car, okay?
I know. We've done this before. I'm not an idiot.
All right. I'm gonna go look around, look for cops.
Fine.
thanks for coming all the way out here with me. It is a great deal on the car, but you know, with this much cash, it just makes sense to bring someone else along, you know, just in case.
Yep. Although I feel much better if they did this deal during the daytime.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, with my work schedule and theirs, this was the best time we could work out.
He's not going to show.
Just wait.
There's two of them. He probably just had the same idea I did, you know? Safety in numbers.
Yeah, okay.
There's 2 of them.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, sorry we're late. We ran into some traffic getting out of the city.
It's all right. We haven't been here that long.
Good. Did you get the work done on the car that we talked about after the test drive?
Sure did. And I got the oil changed and, hell, topped off the windshield wiper fluid.
All right, great. Oh, I have the cash.
Okay, well, I think this is everything we warned you about. So, would you like to start with a comment?
They seem like they're somewhat thinking about what they're doing. They brought someone along. You know, he making half of an effort here. It's obviously not enough. And I'm not sure where they are, if they could have picked a more secluded location, but he's got a glimpse of a thought that this could go wrong, but he's just so excited about making the good deal and being really proud of himself.
He's way too eager,
Yeah.
way too anxious to, let me go get the cash.
Yeah, he's jumping over a lot of details. What'd you see?
Well, I saw that it was dark, and he shouldn't be there in the dark. I don't care what their work schedules are. In this day and age, make a plan to get off of work. This transaction would take 30 minutes at the site at the most. He could afford to do that. But what was disarming, and I think what the criminals here did that was smart, they set them up with a test drive. They have met before. And so he built a little bit of trust with the test drive, and it appears he's caught the good guy totally off guard.
Yeah, the only thing you can say for the good guy at this point is that he was smart enough to bring somebody with him, and hopefully that somebody might be a little steadier hand at the wheel, if I can use that. Up until this point, you know, I think we all kind of feel as though something's going to go wrong, and if something didn't go wrong, you know, James wouldn't have it on the show. So you're right about that. It is going to go wrong. It's going to get worse. But I'm trying to think of ways that you, as someone who would like to purchase a vehicle or any kind of merchandise, I think we touched on a few things, a few precautionary moves that you can make so that the odds are in your favor. What else can we do here?
Well, I hope one, if not both of them, are armed. That's the smart thing to do. If you're going to trust a person in this situation, don't trust so much that that trust is 100%, because the truth is, I mean, our human nature is we want to think people are good, but like I said before, in this day and age, people are always not good, and you gotta be prepared for that.
Earlier we spoke of different situations that this kind of a scenario would turn up in, and it occurs to me that even if you saw an ad in the newspaper, and this has got to be, I mean, I can't be inventing this. An ad in the newspaper has got a car in it, and the price is right. The guy's going to be flooded with phone calls. He's going to start making, you know, arrangements to meet you here, meet you there. So I think what I would like to point out to you at home is it's not going to be this obvious every time, and that maybe you're going to be lured into a situation from the most innocent of parties, maybe even a word of mouth from someone who you think is a friend of yours who says, hey, listen, I saw, you know, a good deal, and maybe I know you're interested in it, and maybe you. So maybe the point we're trying to make here is that, one, there are no good deals, okay?
Well, there's good deals. There's very few unbelievable deals.
Okay.
And you've got to be a little leery when there's something that is just so unbelievable that it's just too good to pass up. There's got to be, I mean, even if this wasn't a staged robbery, I mean, I'd be suspect that there's some underlying lemon in this vehicle that I'm getting ready to buy as well. It's just way too good a deal.
I think what he was trying to say in the beginning was if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. It's okay to say no. If you are negotiating and something doesn't seem right or they're really not letting it go your way at all, it's all on their terms and they're calling all the shots, you just have to say no and then see what happens. If they really are looking to sell it and it's really a good deal, they're going to meet you halfway. They're going to give on a couple things. Meeting in a well-lit parking lot's in everyone's best interest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that.
Except the part about being a well-lit parking lot, I don't like, because that implies that it has to be lit. So I don't want to meet at night at all. I don't care whether there's a million lights in the parking lot. I want to meet in the daytime. I want to take somebody with me, just like this gentleman did. And I'm not going to be as trusting as this guy appears to be.
Right.
But that's my nature.
Okay, that's fine. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. We've probably seen what looks like it's going to get badder. I'm not sure that's a word, but worse. Not a word, is it? Okay. It goes from worse to badder. That's not a word. Okay. Well, anyway, it's going to get worse. There's no doubt about it. Let's watch part 2 and find out how bad it gets.
Yep, we got the oil change, even topped off the wiper fluid.
All right. Oh, I have the cash right here in the truck. Here we are. Do you have the title paperwork?
Yeah, it's in the car. Can I see the cash first?
Yeah, I guess.
Hold on, something doesn't seem right. How are you getting home without the car? We just live a couple of blocks away. We were gonna walk. So can I see the cash?
Yeah. See, got the cash, so if you could just go get the paperwork, we can get this deal going. We have a long drive back to, whoa! Okay, we don't want any trouble.
Just give me the cash. Hands up.
All right, now, stay calm. Let's not do anything crazy.
I am calm. But you're starting to make me a little bit nervous, so hands up. Give me the cash.
Okay, I'll give you the cash, just put the gun down.
I'll put down the gun when I'm in the car with the money.
Drop the gun! Hey, call 911.
Well, I think we predicted that, didn't we? We knew it was going to get worse. And it did.
Well, my first reaction had little to do with the self-defense scenario, but apparently his girlfriend didn't like him enough. She drove off and left him for dead.
and they've done this before.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, that was a gimmick.
Yeah. Tammy?
I think it happened really fast. I'm glad the person he brought along, looks like maybe dad or whatever, was carrying and had sense enough to stay at that point of the vehicle where he was. He wasn't right up there really close. He kind of put some space between him, so he seemed like he might have had a vantage point to see the gun on the kid's back. I wasn't sure about that.
Let me ask you this then. How do you feel about drop the gun?
Drop the gun!
Do we need to warn him?
I would much rather them freeze. I don't really want them to move at all because that gives them permission to move, and I would rather not.
I saw what he did was rather superfluous. He said drop the gun, then bang, bang, bang. Didn't even give him a chance to drop the gun.
I do recall a gun going from one direction to another. There seemed to be like almost a 45-degree movement in the gun. Can we just see that again?
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Yeah, it looks like he issues the command and then he turns to face him with the pistol.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I think he's probably justified at
Yeah,
that point.
because he pointed the gun. He didn't drop it. He turned immediately and pointed the
Right.
gun at him immediately.
Right. So I think we're all comfortable with the fact that once he started bringing that gun back to bear, that pulling the trigger
Absolutely.
was called for.
As far as law enforcement, is freeze the better option? I mean, do you tell them to drop the gun? What do you want them to do?
You know, there's some issues with that. I mean, freeze is a conditioned word that we've gotten from the media more than anything else. But we have so many people in all the communities in the country that don't understand freeze because it's a language issue. That's why most sheriff's departments don't identify themselves as sheriff. They'll say police because police is a common used phrase. People could argue, I didn't understand what he wanted me to do. I don't know what that word means. So freeze is common, but drop the weapon, put the weapon down, stop.
You know, I want to go back just a minute to the 911 call, because I know that Jim will have something to say about this, but where I want to really dwell on is the female leaves the scene. Let's say she's the first one to call 911. She calls 911 and says, we were trying to sell a vehicle and the guy pulled a gun and shot my partner, my friend, my boyfriend, my husband, whatever the case may be. I think this goes back to who makes the call first. Tell me how this is going to work out. Let's suppose she called 911.
I agree with you. That'll be a problem for the shooter. But if the other person or the shooter calls 911, that'll help to weigh the information so that the police can weigh the information. There'll be some balance there. So the police won't come in with just a tunnel vision thinking the shooter's the bad guy. Because then if you have the shooter calling, then they have something else to think about and they'll start to sort it out.
Okay, so you're going to get both 911 calls transferred to you.
Call 911.
Okay, it's going to come to you like we were trying to buy a car and the guy pulled a gun, and it's also going to come to you as we were trying to sell a car and there was a gun.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a little gray area there. There's going to be a little bit of gap. There's going to be a little bit of delay because you have no control. One guy might have a T-Mobile, the other guy might have a Verizon, and one call might place faster than the other because it hits a cell tower faster.
Sure. Hold that right there.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll hear the rest of Wes's comment. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. You know, we're right in the middle of a situation here where I think 911 is a very important aspect, and I think we've said this in many reenactments in the past. Who makes the first 911 call could reflect the outcome of what's going to take place. In this case, as I just discussed with Wes, if both of them make the 911 call, you're going to arrive on scene with confusing information.
Well, the first thing I've got to do is try and make sense out of that situation. And what is consistent in most circumstances is it's going to be a confusing set of circumstances when you get there. So accuracy in that information, try to be the first one to make the call in, try to get that information out there as quick as possible so that arriving units can make a faster determination on what they're going to do and how they're going to handle it.
I think it's all going to boil down to what takes place in court, right? I mean, this is not going to be a call that you're going to be able to make, really. I mean, who are you going to arrest?
No, I mean, you got to look at that, and again, you're not supposed to immediately take sides when you show up on a scene anyway. Right. Your job is there is to help make some decisions and make sense out of chaos, and that's what we're going to attempt to do when you show up.
And this is going to be a confusing one.
Oh,
if
sure.
you get two 911 calls, I mean, you're going to go in there trying to sort it out, and it's not going to be a cut and dry deal. And if I'm one or the other person, and I'm going to need an attorney, where are we going?
Well, the scope of the entire event's chaotic. Meeting in the middle of the night in a vacant parking lot. It's dark. It's the whole scenario as it's playing out when it goes into the big picture is going to be is nothing but chaos from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So yeah, when it plays out in a court of law, it's definitely going to be.
Okay, so this is going to be one of those cases. I know this. You and I are back and forth on the 911 call. This is going to be one of those cases that whoever said the most to 911 to explain what happened might work in their favor.
It could. When the police arrive, if that were my client, I would tell him not to speak to the police. I will get with you as soon as I can. You tell me what happened. I will talk to the police for you. Now, I'm confident, based on what I heard in the part one, that the police are going to find out that this couple has done this before. Because she said to him, remember, we've done this before. And if they have similar crimes, then this pattern is the same. That's going to work in the favor of my client.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get to you.
Yeah. So like I've always said, let the facts, the forensics play out before the client babbles to the police. Just don't babble, wait for me.
Okay.
I think it's going to come back, too, that they probably don't live 2 blocks away. They weren't intending on walking home. They were clearly expecting to drive there, out of there. And I think at some point the guy had some type of training. in my opinion, to be able to get that gun out of his waistband, to watch what happened, and to take the shots that he did. I mean, he seemed solid in what he did. I don't know that many bad guys go that route.
I was
get
wondering
training.
why he waited to the third opportunity to pull his pistol. He had 3 opportunities that were just like the third one. What was he waiting for?
And I just want to say that no matter what takes place here, I think still we want to focus on that 911 call. And this is going to be one of those cases, again, where Jim and I might not necessarily agree with one another, but the 911 call is important to make. We can agree on that, okay? What you actually say, okay, we can work with that a little bit. This was, let me give you the quick follow-up on this. The follow-up was the bad guy dead on the scene. Female was wounded in the leg and arrested at the hospital. Charges are still not been placed against anyone at this point, at this airing. A lot of the emails that I receive from you folks, you say, why did you tell us what happened? It's basically because in many cases we don't know what happened, because the judicial system, I'm sure as Jim will say and agree with me on, is a little bit slower than the way we film things. So I appreciate you tuning in this week. I know we can probably say more, but we don't have time. Thank you. I appreciate any emails that you may have on this subject. Send them to me. Be safe, be trained, be alert. Thank you.